This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
Right now at 4, we are in storm alert as potential storms develop in the bi-state. We begin with a live look at the radar for you. Right now you can see it's quiet right now, but storms are developing to our southwest. And just hours ago, there was a brief weather delay at today's Cardinals game as rain moved through downtown. We want to thank you for joining us at 4. I'm Brent Solomon. Kay Quinn has the day off. The threat for severe weather is pretty low across the bi-state, but some places could see hail. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the first look at the forecast.
And that's really, Brent, the main threat, and it's south of St. Louis. So St. Louis, we don't have any concerns here for severe weather as we head through this evening. In fact, temperatures are in the 70s right now. We've had that little patch of showers and some rumbles of thunder go through St. Louis. Some cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, even a little pea-sized hail earlier in Fenton, but that fell apart. The stronger storms are much farther to our south. And now you look and we see some sunshine returning for many areas. The exception to that is farther to the south, down 44. We've been watching here through the Ozarks. These showers and rumbles of thunder, as they've pushed off to the east, they've tended to weaken quite a bit. But this would be the focus area on a line from Rolla to Potosi to about St. Genevieve and then south, where there may be an additional thunderstorm that develops this afternoon or two, and that's where the hail potential would be. So it's a limited chance south of St. Louis. No watches, no warnings. Hail would be the main threat. Can't rule out a little wind gust with that too. Even the storms that came through St. Louis, we had some 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts with them. And we do expect some more overnight storms to develop. Those won't be severe. But when those storms came through St. Louis and the metro area, they did create some pretty clouds. That's been the talk of the town this afternoon. Lee shared this picture with us on the 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers Facebook group. Those are asperatus clouds, and they're a little unusual, but you do see them sometimes when it's stormy like this. Very wavy and very pretty. A lot of pictures, more to show you in a minute, Brent.
All right, we'll see you then, Scott. I wanted to get now to that tornado outbreak in the Midwest. At least 20 were reported in the region, including in Greenfield, Iowa, where police say several people died Tuesday. NBC's Jay Gray reports families there are now preparing for more possible severe weather.
Violent storms battering the Midwest and upper Great Lakes.
Wow, that's a tornado, guys. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Tornadoes, hail, and driving rain in some areas striking so fast there was no time to get to shelter.
I tried to run into the house, got hit with some debris, and it dropped me. So I just turtled up behind the house, and then the whole garage came down on top of me, and I got dug out. I was probably under it for like a half an hour.
The worst of it in Iowa. Multiple people killed, dozens injured. Search teams continue to work through the rubble alongside survivors, many still in shock.
Right here, we're just going through the motions. You know, like I said, just picking up stuff. I know that my mom's wedding ring, you know, jewelry, you know, things like that. But to really think of what is coming, that hasn't even, that'll come later.
The devastation stretches into Wisconsin and Minnesota. Trailers flipped, this barn left in splinters, trees and electrical lines snapped, leaving tens of thousands without power. Hundreds of thousands across the region now picking up the pieces, with forecasters warning more severe weather could be on the way. Jay Gray, NBC News.
You can get the latest weather first forecast on air on 5 on Your Side's app and on KSDK.com, or you can text the word weather to 314-425-5355. New developments now in the deadly shooting of a 15-year-old girl. Today we learned the identity of the teenager killed last night in South St. Louis. 5 on Your Side's Megan Kernan joins us live from police headquarters. What a heartbreaking story here, Megan.
Brent, it really is so heartbreaking. 15-year-old Dornay Hayes was shot and killed outside an apartment complex last night. Officers found her on the porch with a gunshot wound to her head. Police responded to the shooting around 11 o'clock last night on Miami Street in the Gravois Park neighborhood. When we were at the scene overnight, we saw at least 12 evidence markers in the street, and 8 just on this fence earlier today. Police say they have not made any arrests yet. However, we did see 2 young men being detained at the scene. The property manager of the apartment building didn't want to go on camera, but told me his tenants heard around 30 shots fired. He says Dornay Hayes was charging her phone right outside one of his units when the gunfire came from a nearby alleyway and from Iowa Street.
Person from the area, the neighborhood, who was basically charging her phone and our electricity. We didn't even know she was here. And just shot on our deck on the property. When I was 15, 16 years old, I was riding bicycles and playing basketball and soccer. These days, kids are carrying guns up and down the street.
Police say they're working on figuring out a motive for this shooting, but it's still under investigation right now. Reporting live in St. Louis, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
All right, Megan, thank you. Now to an update in a major case investigation in Bridgeton. 5 on your side learned a teenager died after being shot during this weekend slideshow event. Investigators identified the victim as 15-year-old Gerardo Perez. He was one of 5 people shot Saturday night in the parking lot near Earth City Expressway and Corporate Woods Drive. 19-year-old Garon Stevenson and a 17-year-old are now arrested and charged in that shooting. Our Justina Cronell is covering this story for us. Look for her reports on 5 on your side at 5 and 6. Just hours ago, a juvenile court judge ruling the teen girl charged for injuring another teen during a fight will be tried as a juvenile. Video of that March fight between Marnice DeClue and Kaylee Gain has now gone viral. DeClue has remained in juvenile detention since that fight outside of Hazelwood East High. Gain was left with traumatic head injuries, but her family says she's getting better. Right now, police are looking for the driver who hit a person in Madison County. It happened around 4:30 this morning on Collinsville Road, just east of the Cahokia Mounds Historic Site. Illinois State Police say the victim was taken to a hospital. No word on that person's condition. Well, all of the city's trash collectors were back on the job today. Over the past 2 days, more than a dozen union refuse workers called out sick over reported workplace concerns. The city called it a, quote, illegal work stoppage. So yesterday, city officials met with the union to try to find a solution. Trash that piled up in some North City neighborhoods has now been picked up. Well, it is the end of a local newspaper. What do we know about the sale of the Riverfront Times? Replenishing the auto repair industry, the local program supplying students with the skills they need for a lifelong career. And the Photos of Honor campaign is now underway. How your donations are helping the family of a retired Army Ranger.